Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, October 21st. Hey, we got guys fishing tournaments and busy this week, so we got some fill-ins. Lee and Gentry are fishing the Alabama Bass Trail Championship at Weiss Lake, so good luck to those guys. Wear the Bucks Island logos proudly, guys. We're proud of you. We got Tom Ott talking Guntersville. We got Wes Logan filling in on Logan Martin and Lay Lake. We got Justin Elliott talking Weiss Lake and Neely Henry. And we've got Trevor Elliott, our pro staffer from down there, talking Lake Martin and Jordan Lake. We'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, October 21st. Hey, we're all on the road. There's tournaments going on, so we got to fill in for Logan Martin and Lay Lake. We got Wes Logan, who's going to tell us what's going on at Logan Martin and Lay Lake. Let's start at Logan Martin, Wes.
Yeah, man, it's Logan's an awesome place to fish this time of year. There's a lot of fish in it. You can do a lot of different things to catch some. I'll just kind of break it down from the lower end of the lake and kind of move my way up. But we're getting into that fall time, like you mentioned. We got the drawdowns going on, and I think Logan right this second when we're doing this video is probably a foot to a foot and a half low, which is still going to have plenty of stuff in the water as far as cover wise. Your main deals you're going to be looking for are probably, from the lower end of the lake up mid lake is some seawalls early in the morning. And as if you get a sunny day, you're going to be probably focusing more on docks, the dock post, whether it be floating docks or, pole docks. And then you just kind of got to figure out, let the fish tell you what, depth zone they're kind of in, whether they're on the very back of the docks, real shallow, or if they're more out towards the end, or they can be, if you get a cloudy or overcast day, they can actually be kind of in between the docks, maybe on an isolated piece of cover, just something to like set up on, like some, random sticks or a random stump, something like that. Moving on up the river, you have the famous Coosa River. You'll have some current with the drawdown going on. They'll have to be running a little bit of water, so you can go up the river and fish the river banks with your, from a bait standpoint up there. You got your spinner baits, your big square bills. A buzz bait can be really good in the mornings. Even flipping plastics or a jig on those river banks can be really good this time of year as well. On that seawall deal and the dock deal, I like to throw, maybe a flat side, a buzz bait, a whopper plopper type deal. You get on the dock thing, you can, go to a vibrating jig, or if you want to slow down, drag a plastic, or, pitch a little dock jig around, something like that. But it's really a good time of year on Logan Martin to get a lot of bites. Your problem with a tournament situation is probably going to be getting, obviously, the bigger bite, like always, but that's going to be really key in the fall this time of year on that pond, where a 4 or 5 pound largemouth or spot can go a very long way in a tournament situation.
Yeah, and I know Lay Lake is much the same, especially with the current going through. But you throw in that suspended fish on some of that standing timber out there until the water gets really cool and they start to move back in. Uh, Wes, man, we appreciate everything. Thanks for joining the time and spending the time with us today. Good luck this weekend. We hope you put something in the freezer.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it, guys.
Talk to you soon. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, October 21st. Hey, we got Justin Elliott join us because Lee Pitts and Gentry Gordy are fishing the Alabama Bass Trail Championship up there at Weiss Lake. So, Justin, let's highlight Weiss Lake. Tell us what's going on up there. What are these guys looking at this weekend?
Well, first things first, glad to know I'm the third choice. But Weiss has actually been fishing really, really well. I've spent more time on Weiss the past couple weeks than I normally do. It's fishing really simple, man. They're shallow, they're on docks. It's a flipping bite and covering water between the two docks. I've been throwing a square bill and a chatterbait between the two docks. You'll pick up a fish here and there every couple docks, but most of the time you spend 10, 15 minutes flipping every pole on every dock, and you're going to get bit 2 or 3 times a dock right now. So it's been fishing really
Really?
well. I've had a lot of fun up there.
What are you looking at? Small creature baits? Are you flipping jigs? What are you flipping?
Uh, I've been flipping a half-ounce herring flipping jig with a Magic Cross Swirl chunk on it, and then a buckshot D-bomb.
Oh, we love the buckshot. Um, are you starting to see crappie boats out there while you're fishing yet? Or are they still not quite getting going?
I don't think the crappie are quite right yet. You're not seeing a ton of those guys. Also, where I'm fishing, I don't know that a crappie could stand up vertically. They'd have to be laying on their side to be fishing, to be swimming as shallow as I've been.
Understood. All right, let's turn our attention to Neely Henry. What's going on at Neely? I know Weiss is going to get most of the attention with the championship, but what's going on at Neely?
So Neely has been fishing pretty well or pretty good as well. Neely fish are doing Neely fish things, man. They're trying to push back in the creeks. I've been fishing some of the bigger creeks, the better grass patches that are on those creeks, throwing a buzz bait. You know, flipping the outside edge of the grass, but the majority of my good bites have been coming off a buzzbait, and they're few and far between. But when you get one, it's a 3 to 5 right now. I've caught multiple threes, fours, and fives in the past couple of weeks.
Is that an all day thing to get the 5 bites, or is it you can get some in the morning? So if you're fishing a team, maybe have one guy pitching and flipping, another guy throwing a buzzbait, correct?
Exactly, and it's kind of like Guntersville, where when you get a frog bite at Guntersville, you stop, you slow down, you catch a few more. Same thing at Neely right now.
Okay.
If you get a buzzbait bite, stop and spend some time in that piece of grass.
Gotcha. Well, there you go, folks. Justin's got the info for you to put a few fish in the boat at Neely Henry and Weiss Lake. Give the guys room up there at ABT Championship. They're fishing for big money up there. And Justin, for the record, you're not third choice. Lee's our primary. You're our secondary. Gentry's talking in other different lakes.
If I was as good looking as Lee, I would understand that as well. So no hard feelings here.
It's his humor. That's why we want him. Appreciate it, brother. Thanks. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, October 21st. Hey, we've got our lone regular contributor on the phone this week. We got Tom Mott, who's going to talk Guntersville fishing with everybody else fishing and traveling. Guess what we got? We got our stalwart, our
Yeah,
consistent guy, Tom Mott. What's happening, Tom?
the homeboy, I guess, is could be or homebody. I don't know, whatever you. Hey, I tell you, Dano. This week out on Guntersville, we saw some real low, some temperature drop, and that's something we haven't really seen much of. Temperature came down 5-6 degrees. It really's got the bait is really active right now. Still not seeing a whole lot of schooling action on top, but the schools are definitely there. So I mean, it's a time where you're going to get out there and catch a lot of fish. The keeper bites have been kind of a little bit more at a premium. I think most people, there's a lot of tournaments going on right now, and I think most folks are really shooting for a limit, and then go flip up something a little bit bigger. The mats really took a beating this past week too, as far as frog bites go. It got really cheesy, but I tell you, I think probably the best bite there is going the heads and the tails of these big long ridges where the grass is starting to break up a little bit. A popping frog, some kind of buzzing frog, something on top that you can work over the grass is really picking up some nice bites. And the flipping bite again is probably the best way to catch a big fish, but you can still catch some nice fish on an A rig. Get out there near the river edge, fish some of those grass points. The bait's really wadded up, and you're gonna find fish. It's just a matter of finding the larger fish.
How are you throwing an A rig with all that eelgrass floating through there? Is it just find your spot you can?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. If you can't throw it, the prevailing wind has a lot to do with that. The current has a lot to do with it. There's times where you can get into an area. We were fishing last weekend. We were able to fish for about 20 minutes. The wind picked up, and next thing you know, there was just so much grass, in our area that we couldn't do anything. And it's really frustrating. But I think if you really put your mind to it and you think about the wind, you can find some areas that you can fish, but the floating grass has definitely been a hindrance for sure.
Yeah, it's certainly tough when you get all that organic, sunscreen on your chandelier.
Yeah,
Tom, man, I appreciate everything, brother. I know that crappie bite is close, but we'll talk about that again next week. Thanks for the time, man. We appreciate it.
that sounds good, Dano. Hey, you guys be safe out there and tight lines. We'll talk to you next week.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, October 21st. Hey, we got guys fishing tournaments, including Gentry Gordy, who's in the Alabama Bass Trail Championship. Filling in for him on Lake Martin and Jordan Lake this week is our pro staffer, Trevor Elliott. Trevor, let's start at Lake Martin. What's happening over there?
Man, it's just I think it's a lot of just typical fall fishing. There's really no rhyme or reason or any kind of pattern that you can get on. I've actually been focusing a little bit more on Martin and the upper parts of the lake for the most part myself. I haven't ventured down south, but I know I know they're out there. They're schooling. Um, they're kind of suspended. You can catch them on top waters. There is a little bit of a lull in the day. It seems like it's from about 10:30 to about, I don't know, 2 o'clock, and that seems to be on really any part of the lake that you're on. But me personally, I've been focusing on moving baits, and I do skip a jig around from time to time, and things like that. But just any kind of moving bait, really, just keep it going. Um, Buzz bait, spooks, they're all real good. Um, and then I've been going pretty good with a square bill here lately on Martin, and just focusing on wood, a little bit of rock, and just kind of up shallow in that 1 to 4 foot so far. And yeah, I've just been starting at the front of the pocket if it's not a real long one, and go running to the back of it. And once I figure out where they're at in that pocket, I've just been focusing on that.
Okay, let's turn our attention to Jordan Lake. What's happening up there that you're hearing? What's going on up there?
Well, Jordan, you always can kind of pick your poison area. You can fish a little bit of current. You can fish docks. You can fish grass. You've got the river section of Jordan. You can always get bit up there on top water, and don't forget you can always right now you can still throw a frog in the grass. So
Yep.
uh, this it's always pretty good up there this time of year. Everything's pretty much focused on shad anyway. Um, so it's uh it's still kind of like Martin is. There's really no rhyme or reason what what you can do. It's just 100% junk fishing for me here lately.
Yep. I'd want to take a small swim bait and go up there and fish the little eddy spots and all that stuff myself. I know that's probably the way I'd go after it to start. Trevor, man, we appreciate the help this week. Thanks for the time, and we will talk to you again soon, brother.
10-4 Dano. Appreciate y'all.
Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, October 21st. Thanks for spending the time with us. We appreciate everything that you do being a part of Bucks Island. Don't forget to come on by and see Katie and the folks there in the sales department. If you're looking for a boat, if you're trying to keep it running, we got that full parts department run by Pat and the guys. We got the service department with Misty and everybody there if you need help fixing that boat. And then, of course, we got the tackle store up there in the loft to go see Colin and Jamie. We're always here for you, and we appreciate you. You are the best part of Bucks Island. Talk to you again next week.